One of my rules for high conflict divorce, custody, co-parenting is to leave the kids out of it. Okay? Always leave the kids out of it. What I find too, by the way, are that the apologetic parent, as I call them, they tend to get really anxious and they get really frantic and they often pull the kids right into the middle of it even though they don't intend to. I believe that they do it because they are frantic and it's just a act of self-defense. I think it's an act of self-preservation. Before I get further into this, help me out. Uh, you can hit the tip jar if you like my content. Like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Go check out my other channel. And if you have a question regarding personality disorders or high conflict co-parenting, that type of stuff, you can send me the question. Links in my email address is in the description below. And you will remain anonymous. So if you'd like for me to do a video on it, you can go check it out. And anyways, so kind of getting back to this topic where you cannot expect kids at a certain age to pick up on narcissistic and or borderline manipulation. Now, I tend to believe that narcissistic fathers, because narcissists generally tend to be male, borderline generally tends to be female, though the opposite definitely can be true. The narcissistic types, they can be a little bit more covertly manipulative. I don't expect kids to be able to pick it out. The narcissist tends to be more effective at being covertly manipulative. Kids in the 13, 14 year range and below especially cannot pick up on it. Okay? Their brain is still very much developing. And I ran into this recently and I feel like this is very important to understand. Is where I've seen a lot of the apologetic parents and they're a little bit or more than a little bit frustrated because the kids are being manipulated and the kids can't see it. Well, here's the thing. If they're under 14 or under 15, their ability to perceive it is just not there. It's not a matter of whether or not it's a matter of them being capable. Now, consider this, that in the spectrum of light, your eyes cannot see ultraviolet light. We know that it's there because we've developed instruments to detect it, right? But you cannot perceive it. You cannot discern that it's there through your own senses, okay? And the same thing, I believe, is also true for kids under 15, especially that age. And it could be older, too. Maybe it's 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds even. Kids cannot basically pick up on that covert manipulation. And it's interesting because I see this where the hero and the villain thing, this is usually how I pick it up. This is how I usually know that it's happening, is that one parent is the villain and the other one is the hero. I will be talking about this in my parental alienation course that I'm still working on. I keep promising that I'm going to drop it and just more stuff just keeps getting in the way and it topples down my list of priorities. Regardless, what's important to understand is that in a certain age range, the kids, especially the 13, 14-year-olds, they are very, very susceptible to championing the high conflict parent. The narcissistic parent is usually put on a pedestal. And the narcissistic types can be really, really skilled at portraying themselves a certain way, but the kid's brain is just not advanced enough to understand the nuances or to be able to read between the lines. It's not a matter of whether or not they want to. It's a matter of whether or not they're capable of it. Just like your eyes can't pick up on the ultraviolet light, those kids in that age range can't pick up on the nuances of a manipulation, right? And I kind of see this where it's like, well, when one parent does it, they're horrible, and then when this parent does it, oh, it's fine. And that's like, wait, what? And it's usually because, I mean, if a narcissistic type parent works very, very hard on a child, they can often go along with the program. But usually by the time they hit 15 or 16 years old, they start to butt heads with that parent. They grow some autonomy, and then it can flip really, really fast. That's one of the things about parental alienation that I want people to know and understand is that if your kids are under like 16 years old, parental alienation is a walk in the park, especially if the high conflict parent is very skilled at manipulation. If they're a very skilled manipulator, don't expect your kids to really pick up on it before they're on the age of 16. But when they start to develop some autonomy and they start to get some real nasty backlash from that parent because they're just not going along with the program like they used to, it can flip on you really, really fast. But this is not necessarily about, this video is not necessarily about flipping around parental alienation. This video is about that if you are experiencing parental alienation and the kids are under 15 or so, don't expect it to turn anytime soon necessarily. Now there are things that you can do. There are things that you can engage in that will help along with the process, because you want that relationship with your kids. You should want it. And again, I mean, I talk about this all the time. It really starts with the self-care aspect. It's like the more frantic you are, the more anxious you are, the more defensive you feel, the worse your decision's going to be. Your decision making is going to be, and you're going to inadvertently throw gasoline on the fire. You must engage in self-care. And I know there are a lot of people out there when I say engage in self-care, and it's just like file not found, man. Huh? What does that mean? Okay, your 5 physical self-care aspects and your 5 mental. Okay, and just quick dirty list on your 5 physical: sleep, eating well, exercise, sunshine, hygiene. I'm gonna swap hygiene actually for hydration. Drink plenty of water. Put down the Diet Coke, people. Holy crap. It's like, give your body what it needs. Drink water. Just drink water. Your 5 mental, okay? You gotta have fun. You need outside in nature. You need some creativity in your life. You need friendships, and you need quiet meditation time, okay? If you're not doing those, do them. They will help. I promise. Focus on doing those things for yourself. Have an identity outside of your high conflict co-parenting situation. When you are more calm and stable, when you take a step back and you can kind of get a greater point of reference and you can look at your situation more objectively instead of from that state of frantic desperation, it's just going to improve everything. And you'll stop expecting your kids who are under the age of 16 or so to see the manipulation, and so I better point it out to them, and then you get gaslit again. The high conflict parent is like, see, I told you they were crazy, and they are in the kids' ears. And it's just a form of manipulation that their antennas aren't tuned into yet. And the more you try to force them to be tuned into that, then the more that you're going to get gaslit. So that's also part of, again, my parental alienation course. Frankly, folks, the truth is on parental alienation, there's no book on it. So I've just kind of had to write a lot of that myself. I got to get to work. So thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.